Ghana for now or Fishaka. You say Radia Pia so much Fishaka. Ghana for them ever Fishaka in rain. Fishaka. Pieces say 90 come. Pieces now are modern. Radimo modern. Sensing nature. The Radama shooting go now fear that she a more Fishaka. Ghana for a mamma so full name draw what for those. Unana mdosu nijina umane no ofisi kutunya modi radi wa bitu sami yinse bibia bi amasubia ndija ila masi mura fumira masi after comment yin oh my god ngamasi ene odo amachre no muso ina fishaka wale kamu kitekitama ensho musimama mkopo therefore don't get anything living must be to share me and I am also
Enra eye maame Akosua Serwaa ebema speech ewo Councillor Lutot a program ase a woye no National Theatre na eho ana maame Akosua Serwaa eda eye team liga wifo nyina ase woni a omo aye ede amano sensa dadumba eto from echitaya omo atanachi oda omo nyina ase esama omo afisha panabusia eye ni program a woye ye nyina no woye ede shema me Akosua Serwaa enimonyam ai esanse wako enkoden pam na counselor ene lawyer mrenimfo bi edi enkomo efa maame Akosua Serwaa na warisimu ene ni court case between Odubroni ene judge Dorinda Atta enti ana judge yetimi declare win edema Odubroni say onko na onko dikuna wa bra Odubroni yanya ne ho ade na maame Akosua Serwaa de yetimi eye ne ho ade lawyer yi eka ensem pepre ebusia mepese ebedi kan akotie lawyer no ensem a odi etudwa efa maame Akosua Serwaa wanda dadlumba aware ensimu IBP mu ewo court na afi yewia yakoti eye maame Akosua Serwaa speaker after say lawyer ekasa wiye no wono so edi ebetudwa na eye timniga wife fonso eje omo esamba ewo asebusan yankwai ni nkuti ebi emfamra we eye full video yankwai ni nkuti ebi emfa emra
to it. There's a lean conversation going on, say the late Daddy Lumba on a current case I na Efie no or ya will now or decided say the properties that were jointly acquired or number willy ama the family, friends and other people against Mrs. Akosua Serwaa. Is there anything that the law can do about it?
The answer is yes.
Wow.
Mrs. Akosua Serwaa betumi actually said the properties na ye ka ho asem marital property. Say na me kind of property to be on you acquire with intent say me nko amedia. Ebi you acquire with intent say ye mienu nyina dia. If the property belongs to the two of them, the portion obetumi edi amma in the will unknown the part. And until 2025, now basically the law is that the presupposed say Obia share is about 50% of that property. But in this particular case, you can show out of this property, my contribution was about 60% or 70%. Whatever the contribution is to that joint property, over to me, I will ama Obia open. And to say Daddy Lumba acquired properties during the course of the marriage with intent, say, a joint property. Then Mrs. Akosua Serwaa has a share in that property according to what the intent of the parties were. If there's no intent, we fall back on the old law because they were married, because each one contributed towards the acquisition of that property, then the law should look at it. What is the most equitable way? Check property. No? And if the most equitable way is that everybody has equal shares, then half of the property already belongs to Mami Akosua Serwaa and half belongs to Daddy Lumba. And so I will the entire property to somebody else. Mami Akosua Serwaa can file a caveat to that division and take the 50% before we talk about the rest of the 50%.
Mama law and company is simple. They say one goes to club with me, I try with me at Chechim. So that's a see, I can say, will and Sema. I'm not to be cancelled was only 50 years and on person of a children will. Yes, sir, will buy you will in fear be as a would be as an natural will.
Counselor, I'm sorry I could cross a doctor come home.
Sir,
I'm so sad I'm a day. There is no age limitation. Once what do the age of maturity in Ghana, you can write your own will.
At 18.
Under Ghana law, 18 years. So from 18 and above, if you acquire property of your own, now the fact that we're 20, we're 25, now we're one house or we're one dog or one car, no actual will doesn't mean that you cannot change it. It doesn't also mean that you cannot acquire more properties, and it doesn't mean that you cannot dispose of that property. And it's the fact that mature will now they may shed share me at Councillor Lutrot in the world. Now by the time where me will know. Me here's so bad say cotton shirt no. The law is not against that. So you can only dispose of properties in the world. You ever kind no work. But nothing stops you. That's number one. Number two, anytime you want to change your will, you can always add what is called a codicil to the will, which is changes, amendment to the will. And to will, no, you want to say, oh yeah, living organism. But to me, I change it now until your last moment.
Wow.
And just say, where the 30, no natural will, where the 35, Bibia beka home, and ma beka home, Yama beka home, you can change it and keep changing, and Bibia be changing piano. It will say that this is the last will and testament of Mr. or A or Mrs. A. And to will there is no limitation of your age once you are mature enough to acquire your own property. Technically speaking, say we are under 18. Now you're a successful, rich person. Your money is held in trust by your parents. And until here, especially in the US and other places, movie actors, children are brave from TikTok and whatever. When they are under 18, their parents hold the money for them as trust. When you're 18 or more, no genesika, and the law allows them to keep their own money.
My lawyer. No, and you can't say me I'm here machine. And he says, "Yeah, say Okunubi Chowela, and say Nayeri Esha the Ochronana." I saw Freud, you didn't just say me Chome will.
There are two ways of writing a will if you are married. You can choose to write a joint will with your wife or your husband. In that case, you sit him down, Papa Shin, our by unim properties are ya you will A, you will B, you will C. Me yame will. Also your will. And in the will, they basically says who dies last. The will is still stand. And I don't want to mention any name, but I've done joint wills for people before. Oban Woody Kanya, all the assets within it transfer to whoever is named. Berman Woody Kanya, a transfer. But most of the time, one can say, if I die before you, may assets in about. And if you die, then these are the people who want to give the access to. And me one, give me a transfer and they are doing home. Or you can also choose to write your will separately. This is where separate property, any joint property comes in. But in Pempino, and I'll say in the past, every man is CC4. And the idea joint to cry, no, the Akosua to send your own idea. You can challenge a wife can challenge it, and the wife, if the wife also does the same thing, the man can also challenge it. But you can will all your access to anybody of your choice. Under Ghana law and under the Wills Act, say if you die and leave a surviving spouse, and say we just be surviving spouse within your will, until you cannot dispossess your spouse. Won't make us say, Akosua dey no your troublesome wife. It make sure to pa, and as a papa way, the way they be fair munti me man of shade. No, that one obey to me. I caveat the will in court, and a substantial part will be apportioned to her by fairness. I didn't think our warrior is supposed to be a union of truth.
Yeah.
More warrior, your lifestyle, everything is supposed to be what the marriage has put you into. And when there is either divorce or death, one party should not be punished because there is death or divorce, but rather our lifestyle during the marriage, should be able to be maintained. That is how the law looks at it.
Lawyer pa. Na me pacho, obi to me throw will, ye be kind will now. Why to say me to you my throw will, na me wu a my throw will, obi anim de me throw ye. Why they say a present as me be a will and one I kind will.
You see, under the Wills Act, Obiani one more are required to be present for the reading of a will.
Okay.
Technically speaking, interested parties of the deceased has to be present. Now, you can say interested parties are who are they? Owebusia, Owayere, Owokun, Owama. Those are the required people. And then because of the uncertainty, you say Ebusia Penny or Nyodi Nadia has to be present. But there is nothing required, sir. Yebebo Obiamane to come and read the will. Number two, will does not necessarily mean to say the court to court. The fact that will in that court does not make the will illegal. Wills can be kept anywhere of choice by the one who wrote the will. Wills the baby or no more. Ultimately, come out or so for.
Oh, okay.
If you were lawyers, you were secret pa.
Sir, lawyer for
you were pa. And according to our ethics, we cannot disclose what is in the will to anybody.
Oh.
Utramiti gra menka. Found suffer from it through said day.
Onka.
Councillor.
Now lawyer for open ma.
Oh. I won't be so for no, be so for no, we are not a lawyer for.
I saw for a more open man. Also for Papa Shinka. I saw for a more open man.
Okay.
I saw for me and Sabitia, a more to me and Casa. I can't hear me, I saw for me per man.
Sapa pepe. Yes. The will can be kept with anybody. Maybe on I want a bank. There's safe deposit box in the bank. The reason why I will most of the time I cut a court is that people believe that the court is a better secured place and it's very difficult to go and take the document and alter it. But it doesn't necessarily have to be deposited in court. However, will not have to be probated in court. So we will no jawela court near the court. Near Kusho say way any will as soon as see a die. And then the court will schedule a time to read the will. After reading the will, the court will do further processes in order to file the necessary probate and vest the assets. Say, okay, will they are vesting assets with the will. Near the chair, And after so I can say, Councillor, me for ye, a councillor there. You can't be, it doesn't become yours right away. I say a vesting asset. I better transfer the title, the ownership of the phone to councillor. And I say, Danya, wait to me, I show say this is my right to this house. A car, this is my right to this car. A bank account, this is my right to the money in the bank for me to go and take it. And not in a Bibiano court, a woman. But you can leave your will with your pastor, with your lawyer, and it is still valid under the law.
And if I say, many may eat feel back, my will, na me will, if you're not a timono, maybe a mobi. And he or no, maybe or tino, yet he had it, or me nanity, but my might say, you are sad diamond, and then feel a timono. You fan command, Abena Chebuache, and you're quiet, you read you who says you have a best, I have best, and I say to Abena, to me, one year from Abena. Is it possible that we never got to me a day?
Councillor, making Odana or Latabiokoshi. But two of there 4 chain homes, Trasako near there.
Majatu.
Within the will, no, like I said, Mire and Trasoko. Okay. The most of the time, the matrimonial home is willed to the surviving spouse. It is okay on pen, now the other one on pen. Maybe there may be a way to negotiate for that.
After your
death. Yes. However, so what do you say? Me de Efie no ma obi foforo na yentu no na encore struggle on the street. Obetumi contest will. There must be an adequate provision
made for the survivor spouse.
For the survivor spouse. So the life is not going to become worse off by virtue of your death. And that is how Obetumi contest will. No? Now, whatever is wrong with the will can be corrected. In fact, I will be home as a lawyer. Now, Katrina says, say, I'm person me share my job. Me I had a minute. But I will ask you as my client, and then I will demand, and then Ben I demand, we say only the man is dying. Uncle back to the village. Me, I will advise you not to do it. One penny, me you well know now.
Sir?
Yes. And you're fair. And it is not legal. So I will not put my hand on something I know said that at the litigation ever.
Well, my Efie man will village.
Pacho Muware village down in the
oh, sir, so Konechi.
But Uware no, Odin back room.
Many back room, and never be too much.
No, in the Tanaya, because Uber, what time I swam, we are well.
Aye.
What changing a brabo from a classic back room? The law is that you cannot put her worse off than where she is today while you are alive.
Wow.
She doesn't deserve a president. She deserves living with you.
Wow. Mumbo Sema lawyer. Sana and Semna and them Pana only 50 in India was a son of Massa. You probably lawyer natural will na Eddie. And team legal wives say a ma moti a bruchre. Momo bebre na ye confused. Ebi mo say ye ne ye kunuma be sit down na ye nu ye ho say abe sit down bom ye discover be bom atom say ye nu ye ho ye be say yanka say be ye by 2025 new law na aba no obi abetima be no kwane property wo Ghana sisi a. Yes.
And even in the US and other places,
wow,
recognize equitable distribution. So if the intent of the couple is to keep their assets separate, it will be respected by the courts.
Because team legal wife won't be so when we are living, but once he died and obviously once he 8-bedroom house now on best of better will be Bemano and my tone, Nayan Cho, and is he a good advice? Say, maybe I do the tone fear no beyond the Sika there.
You see, we are somehow okay. Our Jaya Maya,
Yes.
They are still married.
Yes.
But Obi feel say the time as soon as over.
Yes.
Oba feel say no, metna ho. In fact, you flip a coin now, and my chichu ne decided say metna brochache. Because oyas yo me mano me nana no nti me pesa metna ha. Them man say time as soon yenko or si uncle. If they have more than one property, there's a way I will to equity Efie now they are better baby for her. But when decided say one how you can actually force a sale of the house. Yes. And take your share. But most of the time it will end in a divorce because that means to say our reform one thing and go back home. And one of the reasons are to file a divorce, irreconcilable differences. You know, ya drain and go back. Answer na every time or back because I ton, back say tono. No one who are them one sana, a baby pie abonte.
Lo osi oba Ghana no san echi call na say ya no ne mane ka che ne se papa akofa nkrofo ma hwe fie o mutimu no. Na opese oton edan ne sana aka no na oba na se ono enne ensi ne ochina so eka ho onpre ma ye nto dan ne se on de ho ano metna na be ma no so si fie no so 3 houses mienu to aso enjo monton ne enkwale na nyi no monkoto keto an oba na se onpre ba de o kan ma meti ase na se oba na ti wa be ma no bitan koton
abuche uhia say only oba na te if you are married na say unkwampo na auto dan na woton a uhia the consent
of the
oba.
Wow.
In fact, in 2025 the court in Ghana gave the same ruling. Say who Ghana hana woton property na wa waria you hear the consent of your wife. And to say wife no and her husband and a type a dan when it demo that's what say on penia on man consent. And the only time I bet me at all is when there's a divorce. And to say we are okay. I feel here about filing for divorce. So I'm filing for divorce and the court will decide out of $600,000 I'm more torn down. You sure will be a contribution. And then you share car modi or dinosaur. What is the balance? Balance now also no. One betche ediama. Oba no ni bema no but untumi nka say because I will say keep unsunti me so me time aso me pese me be fie ya ye ne ese ye wa brochire nyina the fact that one person will konti I shouldn't go into a balancing of equities say oba no ni bema no na se kola no po anyinyi a wo nyina adwe hu yie na bomba me say me time was na me say me banam say me ton me dan na baba
so you say onyamba ya
me kwa na me ton me dan. That's one. You acquire your own property ubi bia only yours. When the time comes time say me fan che me ba, the Lord doesn't require me to give my house to my child. That's not what the law says. You can sell your house and you come, but say only o yire ne toy dia. Then the two of you have to decide the fate of the house. And as you then your wife has a share in it. That's how the law is.
Okay, yeah, fast and bisa. I'm now your page yourself. I'm more question be or it's very difficult. Some people want to make a request and ask you questions. Right? Any question from the floor? Zia dear, mo fena mo bale dear. Mawali be de pa. I said nyansa ye did two grandma mama. And nyansa ketua bia. Macho, mama so for microphone mabe. Can you help us with the microphone going around, please? Emmanuel, move microphone so my intent. Thank you, sir. All right.
All right. Thank you, lawyer. In your submission, you made mention of before a woman can attest to the fact that she was part of the property by way of contribution and all that, the woman must prove. We have an adage in our country which says that se bema to chua etri bema bo Obato Tua, Etrabemabo. Per that, anything you want to do, you must prove it with evidence. But per this adage, most of the women or even men on the side of our world, when we are contributing to something, we don't we don't request for any receipt. There's nothing like that. I mean, I'm a married woman, and so if my husband is acquiring a property and I want to add something to it, I just give the money to him without any receipt, without any proof. In this sense, if it happens like that, how would she prove at the court of law? Thank you.
Also for me that say, but what Miss go to Niamekaino, man can say Obano has to prove. Me say when the property is acquired with intention, say a joint or marital property, then the two of them have to show their contribution. And in the US or here, you have a lot of married couple. Both of them are professionals. It is easy for them to show that I was responsible for taking care of ABC. He was responsible for taking care of ABC. And because of that, we were able to acquire this property. That's different from when one doesn't contribute financially.
Now, what I think we are saying the same thing here. You are talking about US. I am talking about here in Ghana.
Yes.
Of the majority, when we are helping our spouse, either a woman helping a man to acquire a property, normally in our own house, we just give the money. Mikuno je no deko, meyere je no deko, without any receipt.
Okay.
That is what is happening in our part of this world.
Then Mate, every time I do my man say, any man say, document your contribution because we are the assistant. Any man assistant, keep record. And yes, I was dream bonnet, but say, who can be so scar? Say, be a yoko toka in wait to me the kakraba, man a check, man a bank transfer. Manu enkoyi cash no fi market ho emo abosu mu na famre no because you don't know when ochira oba akofa side check no abaka tro say okra wan contribute
I wait a make the tree and make the tree
kind of it
I'm say ya kosoro dodo ya mrefo
ya wo fam
ya baga na ha
e Ghana mra na make tro
bank na ya ka ho asem no Emma bebre wo krom ha yenim se bank we di ni sa account party oni bi
and you're wrong and it has to change
lawyer membi say imprempre so ba bia yes am mistake no one ma check esanse oni bi oni any evidence bi a odi kire se ni kun dan no to ye no otua sika lawyer dey no be
number 1 Councillor Luchot family conference here is to educate.
Thank you.
And to make sure that people learn something every day. Until wow your bawaha and now your bema waha what tea can fatu from today. Number 2, wow why ye na etwam did that. Start thinking. So which me a recordo, which me a kaka utrim a daya ye see Mekai say mema A, B, C, D, trotu hono. Ebe wow. If there should be divorce. If there's no divorce, any problem. If Ugakun Awele Amobakwa, any problem. But that's just 70. And then the last one, get yourself a good lawyer. There's so many ways lawyers can prove your contribution. One way you cry and if you get yourself a good lawyer in such situation, obey to me abwa documented how I will contribute to the joint properties of the marriage.
Lawyer
Asamasi, any other question? All right. A bed. I am wrong.
Thank you so much, lawyer. Please, is there anything like a verbal will? And also, if a father shares a property to the children verbally, and at the demise of their father, one of the sons rises against it, can the law do something about it?
Thank you. Verbal will. Ghana, Akan, Fuafreno, and Samansel. Traditionally, na yentro, everything was verbal. But verbal numpono, say eye in Samansel or verbal will, ye free witnesses. Emma won't ba. Ena papa neka se miniho, and America se miniho amete, me flower way, Emma be bawe. Ovia. There is another right, as you saw here, and it said, "Oh, that's what." It is until this process is fully completed, and sana ebeye verbal will. Say, "One that's what," and there are no witnesses. Now it's about Akosua Serwaa and coming to say, "This is what it is." That will not be supported by the law. However, under PNDC law 111, we only have people who die with a will or without a will. In Samansel, it's not mentioned. So I would say, after the passage of PNDC law 111, interstate succession law, the notion of in Samansel say, Papa na chiche ejapadiene de dano, it's not supported by Ghana law. A will, a war, basic requirements. A will has to be in writing, it has to be signed, it has to be witnessed, and the properties has to be clearly identified, and the beneficiaries have to be clearly identified. So this basic requirement of a will, emit all the requirements. It will be accepted as a will, even if a lawyer doesn't write it for you. But we need a will in writing, conform to all the elements, then the person died without a will. And in that case, a banner or say, my papa say, or the way chain, I want to will, can decide to say, onyintum, and then it will be assumed, say, papa no died without a will. And in that case, we go to PNDC law 111 to distribute the assets of the man.
Thank you.
Say, meet lawyer no. My dream yemi bibi say, I think that I need to organize a program just for the law. Because nyama bebre o ha esesa. Na me kanu kra akosi se Mrs. Akosua Serwaa fosu any lumba assembly amasesi a no emra no nti ase na abanja asema esi no eye pa because it has brought a lot of explanation. Because questions and crofo obi say owale oba no on talk card ka bia ono otoman enti why not you say otro will on funny din shim e say wadi ni will ebi wo sana
Pacho my case say a will has to be fair, and especially if there's a surviving spouse. No one making provision for a surviving spouse unless say you no one is be amra ware no kra no one is separate from the marital home. Otherwise, obetumi a challenge will no. I'm a winner fair share of the assets.
Oh, so a will can be challenged.
Oh yes, it can meet all the requirements, but it can still be challenged.
Okay, then there's no worry because there's too many questions going on. Say, Mrs. Akosua Serwaa fosu. Omo hano na lumba de bibia acholo bro ni nti on tena de baby nti on tumi nya hwe wo. Is it likely she can challenge if it's yes? It's an alleged statement.
You see, lawyers we usually don't want to comment on live cases.
You do dead cases.
Yeah, dead cases, especially when the case hasn't happened yet.
Yet, okay.
Like I said, the case is not ripe.
Matthias here.
However, Mijidi said, if that the Lumba left a will, that's a will on your fair. Mrs.
Akosua
Serwaa
can challenge
has the legal right
to challenge it
for equity to prevail.
Okay. Bonsema lawyer. So I take the last question. Page 4 say, I don't know, man, won't be happy. Muncha TikTok. I say, why are the women not asking questions? Is it the English or what? And what page is it? Or baby, miss a question and go for my home to your page is it? And I'm mad what you see from one year. Okay. The legal wise money assembly bisa and I'm from one year. My from one year one. And remember 2025. Obi say it's better to keep your will at the shrine than the court.
I don't blame him. So Ojidi say hormona obenya honesty. Menene ya dream. And once I him say well I was shrine. Uniwa yebeko akofa abekai.
All right, I see a hand here. Let me take the last one here. Team Legal Wives, I'm sorry. I mean, they have a lot of questions here, but we can't take them. Team Legal Wives, we move. The excellent pay. Okay, here go. Microphone, please. Brown Sugar, can you please collect the microphone and help us? Yeah. Oh, well, sorry, sir.
Lawyer, thank you. Please, my question is, if you have already written your will, okay, and then there is provision for your spouse, and now you are not dead yet, there is a divorce, would your wife still come and claim a part of your possession, even though you have a part for her already? And the second question is that, let's say, you see, now there's rising cases of divorce. Someone can just go and get some advice from someone and come and divorce you. So, when that happens, you can see that now many divorce cases are happening because there is some property to be shared. What is the law doing about that? Or is it always ready for someone to come and collect some property because there is some divorce heat coming up? So, please.
Thank you. Sad enough, the statistics is not looking too good for marriage.
Okay.
In fact, in the US, about 60 to 65% of all marriages end in divorce. I mean how old you are, but Osha with sisters, now your brothers, I won't marry. Now we compare it with our fathers and our mothers. You can realize that they married younger than us.
That's true.
And it is getting worse. In fact, Gen Z, for no grandpa there, some of them are not even talking about marriage.
No, they don't want
at
to
all.
No, they don't want to marry.
They have alternative way of parenting.
Yes.
So what you are saying is true. The divorce rate is going higher and probably will go higher.
More higher, that's true.
What happens when you have a will and then you go through divorce? In fact, the will only take effect after your death. So, unguya, the will has no effect. So the wife or the husband can divorce and claim a portion of the joint assets or the marital assets. After that, it is up to you to change your will. If you decide to leave it as it is, she will still come for that property. So most of the time, when people go through divorce, they also, after the divorce, change their will to reflect what the situation is on the ground. Your second question, what is the law doing about divorces and property issues? The law has no power to regulate that. I will say, anything I say, a quan a wa, opiani mu asem, and the law does not regulate the future, or it doesn't regulate what can happen in a societal relationship. One unyame ene ebia papa no say ode the wo be kwakọ to shrine one unyame ana one shrine, but it is a real concern, and I appreciate that question.
Thank you. All right, so you have someone on the page.
Yeah, Counselor, I'm asking a question for Keep Smiling on the page.
Okay.
Can you give all your belongings, that's your property, to someone who is not a family member?
The answer is yes. In some circumstances, you can do so. If, one, there are no children who depend on you at the time of your demise. Two, you have no family members, family. Here, not brothers and sisters, but we are talking about parents that you support. Three, no spouse. These three groups, the law requires you to make provisions for them if you are the breadwinner. But if not, you can give your property to anybody of your choice. It doesn't have to be your family member.
Okay, lawyer, I know someone who is highly educated but yet do not believe in will. I asked his reasons behind that, and he told me all his properties, he has actually allocated them to his children. So even if he should have a kid with you, then he's going to do a property for you, so that after his demise, he will not come back, claiming for something. Let's assume one of, baby mamas will come and then challenge after his demise. Do you have something in the law that will, claim something for the person? Because whilst he was living, he allocated everything, if it's a house, in the name of a son, a wife, or whatever. So even if you come, the property is in the name of somebody. Can the Lord do something, within this situation?
Well, so the person doesn't believe in a will, so the person actually would die intestate without a will. Properties that has already been assigned, transferred into other individuals are no longer his properties. It is only properties that has not been assigned to anybody, and that will be shared according to intestate succession law. And who will be the beneficiary if somebody dies without a will and there are properties? The law is very clear. If there is a spouse, if there are children, only a konokra and mano may be able to claim from the residual assets that the person is going to leave behind. And then the family also has a percentage of it. So the children doesn't have to be, unfortunately, team legal wife pay. The children are innocent in this team. So whether they are playing kotoko or has, they are all football players, and all of them will have a share. But the women may not have a share if there is a wife.
Well, thank you very much. Like I said, Law, your last word for us. You spend very good quality time with us, and I hope you have. Papa, should you have a question you want to ask Law? All right, okay. And no other question again from the floor. Law, any advice for us with all the things you've said, please?
Well, my advice is very simple. Mayor Bloomberg of New York, personal assistant, was going to get married, and they asked Bloomberg, do you have any advice for the man? Bloomberg looked at him and said, one word, don't. That's the advice Bloomberg gave. He said, do you have advice for the man going to get married? I said, don't. But I would say don't. I would say that there's nothing wrong to discuss property issues as part of your counseling when you are getting ready to marry.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong to have a prenuptial agreement. The prenup agreement protects all the assets that you have before the marriage. And if you have some assets before the marriage, you are jumping into a journey that you don't know when it is going to end and how it will end. There's nothing wrong to agree that what I have today is mine. What you have today is yours. If the two of us come together and we acquire more, it will be our joint properties. There's nothing wrong to do that. So if you are a young man, you are a young woman, you are working so hard, and I know some of the young men, they already have their houses and all that before the marriage. There's nothing wrong to have a prenup agreement before you get married. It will protect you one day. Thank you.
Put your hands together for Lawyer Eric Darko from the United States of America. I think that he deserves a standing ovation. I mean, this is very brilliant. No, thank you so much. Sorry, Nigeria National Bond, Sema lawyer. Okay, I never have a ticket to my ticket to Mano. Or no, and I try ticket to buy a sober chiradia or any park as a lawyer. That's it. You better next year, may 2 times. Now I want to stick to the law. Nankrofon suadia, yes, Adia, Asem Cassia, Paddy, that's it. Team legal wife was your that's it. Bon Sema lawyer. Now, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. TMA pa and 70 be hard. Hey, and 70 be hard. Beautiful, Mamma Sewa. Well, Yadi, Ma Sewa, and comedy. My lawyer, pine number, your point, your mention or pine, your point, why? Papa, she bet my DB or check my dear or pine, more quantum for pine. Yeah, that's it. Papa, she wants my lawyer, why are they? Obi can say lawyer for enter wale baako. Minim say no so be ya no na age say ewu answer. Because just assembly go wu assembly buy enka. Omo say lawyer for this is why lawyers don't marry one. They marry 3, 4. I don't know about that one, but I know most lawyers don't want to do civil marriages because they understand that they want to marry more. And that is what Papa Shi is not ready for. That marry just one and die once, and when you die once you go to heaven. If you want to go to hell, you marry 5 and go to hell and be happy. If there's hell, it's okay. Why? We are sitting here. One go heaven, over go hell, go hell, over go heaven. You know, and you mean son, what I say, a buno akra, a corapaholic. That's all right. So I mean, all too soon we've got that Dr. Fojo is here, but Papa Shi will have to do an assignment for us, all of us. The level of love that we have seen here for Mrs. Akosua Serwaa Fosu. We want to see a very short prayer that God will keep her, protect her, and wish Mrs. Akosua Serwaa well. Then we take our doctor's corner as well. So Papa Shi, empire tia Emma Serwaa Neanko.
Pacho ina yeso ina na so ne bompai ma pacho bebre kwa ni die kwanso yeso ina na so ne bompai pacho kata wani be bia obi e bompai ama e mame Akosua Serwaa Fosu e wo dum erade ye da wase ye yokese ye hyewo ni munyam otumfo wani erade ye de wabawa Akosua Serwaa Fosu ye de nkwane ne kra ni pedua e hyewonsa erade ye say long life, strength and power, Lord God Almighty. Erade mo abofo won dey protect 24/7. Wa show you my papa so wa ba wam you rafa ko ewie papa abi ko to ko erade mankunim die emra na adasa nyina hu de waye e won mu ma empie eni pe nyina hu so no do won to so ni ma nyina tipo ho ma ewie onye ye de ne ma eba wadi me gumu ahwie gogota e ya hyenso etomo fere nyina so ye de ni gyina ho as a point of contact ama ye ma me makunafo ye nua ma no ye yire no erade shudi konkon mo nyama wa ba wayi na Ghana man ewiase nyina ye be hye wodi monyam o Yesu Kristo Yeshua Mashiach udimu ni asrem paabo yi awontifo ina mo amene ka amekeze pa amen.
And that's a paabo sempa biuma Mrs. Akosua Serwaa she that's it. Thank you very much. So thank you very much. And here point tracks and share. Lord, thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending 4.5 hours with me. Thank you so all too soon. Yeah, for Joy is here. So for Joy, please come up. Let's do your bits, and then we go. Debi America say mumbra neam pontem yemre naso National Theatre Force yenyen ko yesika nasa every day. The business obonsema lawyer for Joy. Obi ka chem so la for your son very quiet and innocent. Doctor, you say Dean sir on Pemba but open man come and therefore you menka say yano but sana nkrofo keka ewo page so on pen wasem say no tie ne so worry politician nti mepe ba kwa ma na wale no say pe otimi anaka ebebo apa Lord bacho bi say asem o ma dey bi say bi asem snoring obi o hwan kromo brother say ne sister hwan kromo or disturbing no na ohwan kroma no ahyara de ne nan egu no so o ka o se enya no kure enti de oye ne se o de ne nan hwi ban mu ene man mark o le hwi ban mu no enkron ne ko onhwa biom it was just a snoring it's snoring a sickness
on itself enya yare but a bit me a sign or a symptom of a deeper medical condition I also.
Okay.
See on itself the area.
Okay. And the snoring area by bit more than area.
A bit me I be a diarrhea BG.
And I say yare bi wo munti na wo snore.
Exactly.
Sound ne chira yare kro ana obia
there sound in chira yare.
Oh, okay. Now ade ba kwa ye bisa ne say ye discussing much about family health and infection. Ekwala bebre bebie kwan no mko school a obia bebie kwan ko school but na ye ma ebo wa omonyako I to say bebie kwan bia nkwala bia bebo wa akwala bia benya cold den and what should we do to prevent that?
All right, there is no specific answer to this. Then so oshe most of cough any area.
Cough in there.
Debi.
Dog, obo wada.
Pa.
Dog, obo wada untimi nkasa.
Enso enye yare. Metro issue.
Pastor Fortress. Obo wasa 3 months. Usi enye yale.
Debi.
Ono kasa. Enye yale.
Cry.
My brother, stop saying I'm sick.
Inti, what happens ne say nyankopon nyanse mu no or the nyeme bi due ye nipadua anim se ne ebe ya se bibi touchma e wo nipadua anim a bibi bededi amohu se bibi koso and anytime ye nyina ya a bit of science da ye be sure say wo lungs wo airways wo trachea wo nostrils into inframa no hu me fa hwenim then through the trachea into the bronchioles into your lungs into your no bibia ebeba be si sa kwan no usually the body will try to get rid of it into say every hwenim ekọ lungs nim no sa kwan na e wo ho no say bibi irritative and I say bibi nipadua ni so say bibi abehye ho a nipadua ne behye da abowa so na bia bibi abehye ho bia e be pi so that is why we cough. It could be a bit irritant, a bit bacteria, virus, anything. The body tries to cough it out.
Oh, and you say coughing a few.
Yes, supposedly that's what the body does.
Oh, and the coughing and the man called school back. Now I said, Bibia boy irritate you.
Exactly. We change
your environment from the house to the place. Yes. Okay. So now,
whenever nipa bebre ebe di nhia no, obi wo hwa bia ni spray anu eden. Obi nso wo hwa sabi on keeping ne hu ye body odor and even coming together and produces heat. Aha ni nyina no timi nkofo me hypersensitive. Obi wa wana ni pedua no responding easily to the environment. Obi nso a responding easily. Nti akwa ne sa na actually say mama
madam for be dey be complaining say anytime obeliki bia obo wa na say wa bibia wura ni mu anya correct
and they just say a friend bet name kusano
because licking the cough but the mean tiase ba wo kan afuna me dwendwen say bi na say either say wa licking bibia na or licking wa fia bibia na
say you can choke who choking so a bit me
okay, and the last week say Esther Bekaya on the page obi say Anna Rosie obi say ne partner the juice or the juice guna say no say on fe na fe de wa bre ne fe na obafie wie no abo wa no ayemre entina say enye say juice na yale wo mba material bi aba wo
o say juice na to choke you
okay Matia say Mati the ochinasi Baba see me say upon ani aye bacho why ye pon opanyi pa encha de o de jama ye pon ani achama wo Baba shi chem ache de bro nya de enti ye pon anu maje wo pa ona ye kama okay tio obi say empema gro bi mayale enye infection asem obi ka doggy style see mayale ya count sa and am say ne brana be clear mesrew ayembia doggy style mayale ana e ma obi sisibu
onze ya yeti henyo bia na owa hode so but ye kasa ma ya wa hode so in an average healthy human being ma yare
okay
so bia now o posterior hypertension obi o ha o gina ho suddenly a otimi bushwe inti bia wo underlying medical condition bi na support
obi was spine problem but in a healthy human being no enya de be ma wo ha obia okay enti enye se bi obi an to so be ma obi ale ana okoto dwe
Debbie medically bi ase ni ho
enti doggy star bi ani ho am obi ale
Debbie
enti obi ye doggy star no obubu na say ale bi wo ho dada
exactly
enye se atu de duro enye se bi oba na to so dodo
Debbie
okay na obi so a ohu oba na to so na ne ye machine so etumi ma me nya ale before doggy na
na onye ho say my patients being so omo make a shame say BP na e was sure who say man say TBP ni so but who dey dey maintain that
so be hu obi to an machine
BP perform
I'm say nra
I machine dey enter fam ba e dey abotoyem na eba
enra ye hu bi o social media pa enye AI me hu ya me hye me say we ye ni port ase and we be sabit me ama wabu ahwe ba wo dey o say enya hwe
e ma BP grab for
e ma BP na ba for enti to kase ma BP ba for according to Dr. Ford your hu oba na to so a wo BP wo soro a e be ba for na we ye mema me bo a
mema
enti na so oba nso hu be ma na ye fu so a o so BP e be ba for ana
and ye just use ama no
e ma mu hu mema mu ye fu so a mo BP ba for ana Akosua obi say we are treating infection for the past 15 years they bia or see be the white constant infection what should the person do what is the cause of it they be or see be white 15 years when you 30 ohu enu edi 15 or say still eba.
All right, usually, a man uses the right medication to treat the wrong condition.
Okay.
Sebi, ye mani bi owa, onya ehun discharge e wana sia, ana insugu na sia, immediately organs are white.
Okay.
Then so onya discharge, it could be a lot of medical conditions.
Okay.
A bit me a STI, I nemo yare. A bit to me cry UTI. Sometimes it means opportunistic infection, especially candida opportunistic infection. Was say, or baby as a pino, if we normal vaginal flora. Nyankupon ede imuabi egu asequine, man asequino, send a beomebo a hobby. And ye will be different pH, the acidity and alkalinity. And also Nyankupon a specific one or the atopo. Now so go or the nye maybe a question I say, or the nye maybe a question I say, even panties are able to share the way you dress near the way our personal hygiene and you create infection, discharges. At the same time, only bema are or infection or infected and also to STI and the UTI, Junso Muyare, Obuhana or the Junso Shannon or on time no monso, the washroom, on keep you and another or no infected water, and also to minya sa UTI nibi. It's when you know to me discharges. Aha, and oba crano. Oh, vilitin so unya discharge, a clear liquid, I know super. Yes, into when you know a idea, it be more would be say when you're white. Into be a chlamydia infection, no a coto antifungal, no the treat any idea beco. Into a very recurrent infection. A money be prayed barrier, the squat solo, who are 1,010 now a coto, as an isuni splash here, a pecky organisms, if you form. A bit deposit was and also to my recurrent infection. We to a diabetes no name. Diabetes, the sugar cholesterol no name.
Oh, okay.
It's the Jones on the more and also a more bit me abet now was okay. I'm when your discharges. It's when your discharges are the good thing now where they say, where you should say a potty win at the buy, then you can treat it once and for all.
Wow.
Anna make a see a more antibiotics and antimicrobial yes, Yenfanina, cause Ufebi. Now, Hoshas said, Tom, now Jatum, and also with me, I'm going resistant species. I'm a area quite Samba.
That's it. All right, so let me just all the questions that I have in my head. Obi wa floor, our question, we have so beside doctor, Efa wa Pumudin, Mansaso, na yimbisa question amount. Any question? And yet, I say, any other infection, any question, who will question will be 1, 2, 3 and go. Yaman Tamunti, Yamayan to me, and win and tell. Am I a Yaman in actually? Program you say once every year. Obi will question will be sana 1. Okay, question me wa. Obi one in the microphone, mame. Or question me baby sawa. Na. And I'm actually I'm a one endorsement. May travel be a corn match. May watch a dear but endorsement. May travel for corn match. Okay. Any question from the floor? So, team legal wise, well, thank you so much for joining us. Mrs. Akosua Serwaa is very happy. I don't know if she can watch, but. It's a good thing to do. Yanko, what's the question?
Okay, thank you, Doc. My question is, your program be at this time I die, so it's about snoring. So, guy in the die, none of extra room, it's not a down. So he was snoring. It's not a year pa, and be caught down in the good 2 years and snoring in Jaya. So I want to know what happened.
Yeah. All right. So what basically happened? They said. At least there's some level of breathing there also. And that keeps you alive. Sleeping positions it may block your breath. Especially attacking yes. Or a lot of fat around your neck. It may block your airways. And touch your tongue. And also to me a choke kakra. Yeah, so depending on your sleep position, and me are exacerbating snoring. Onya sisa position na nature say airways ni baby, and I say baby a home fano, and we be ama homiano ako smoothly. Into that's why I put down any good to hono, and no boa snoring.
Dog, but your easy or medical checkup. What is your advice? Should we go for medical checkup? If yes, how often?
All right, so what you don't know doesn't kill you.
Say catch us when your diabetes, every more you must show there.
All right. Personally, I maybe through your race in death. Oh yes, said death you be able, and everybody will die. But say you are alive and you are a vegetable. Your friend health, your friend quality of life.
Okay.
Say otiase, then so you are struggling. It's a very difficult situation to go through. And a stitch in time saves 9.
That's true.
But at the point even your lifestyle can even result in changes IMR complications. And as a old train in complications, I mean you spend more time, you spend more money, and you suffer within your body. Yes, in the arena you won't in say yes and very easy, very, very easy. Even now saying the most feared disease is HIV. People don't know the difference. HIV girl 1 need 2. Wait when you are 2 wait when you are 1, wait when you are 2. It is a unim, so 1 you can even protect yourself from getting the 2.
Okay.
At the same time, HIV and AIDS are different. AIDS is a progression of HIV. And see, so who say HIV antiretrovirals and no crab from progressing to AIDS. And see, you already in it protects you from all the other complications. Even cancer. Most cancers you in it's me cancer if you're normal life so. And we will be at least twice in a year is what me a checkup. But for a healthy person, once in a year is fine. Wait me a checkup. Even on your birthday, Christmas, wait me a checkup. That will be fine. Yes.
Any question on the floor? Okay. So that will be our last question from the floor. And then we wrap up for the year 2025. Next year, I hope we'll come on time, 7:30. You started your show at 10:30.
Yo, Impa. Who found my regard?
Who found you much here?
I can't wait here for Efie. Here, I'm a boy here and I'll be not to lie. Automatic factions and in neighborhood. You are ye 4 low 5 hair no come abolish. Ni o treat infection name. Ni that be a bar. Ni o no like ye 5 ne ko no na. It's like in a relationship me low oshimi.
So her question is very simple. That your husband or your partner is out in grind. A mama can want it. And the mom won't think grammar to have a trunk, I won't tell your kind. The officer chair said, Bama Bako or the Mabes and Noom Neda, and the Bako who said constantly go to infection. Bamani Nim said, Kofi, Adua Mansa, Omo Ben the man, but on no one who said infection or treaty, who besides said, Bama San, Ujana Walia, or Beto, not infection, you call, and now when you're dead.
And we join their personal decision, but medically, it me advising. And only a friend of ping pong effect. I about table tennis. We now we are my way. So usually, say a treaty in a area, you invite your partner. Say be bear man anywhere. Now you share or no so. Say everyone need a treaty appropriately. Yes. No, very, very key. Anytime I will treat the STI, your partner also has to be treated. Then so API now we treat you know. I said perqua we dry no. And then it becomes difficult. At the same time, there are a few things I've been about buying. With me, you use barrier contraceptives like condoms. Yes, and yet STI need to be protected, but at least it's me go buy from some of them. And only there as to whether we join it here, and there's your own decision. Once we put measures in place, like using barrier contraceptives like condoms to protect yourself. Ain't me buying from all of them. Something like hepatitis B. And no, even through body sweat, saliva, urine, with me. But a few there with me now TDD.
Wanya ukeroba yi aluko so payeli ni utashi wo banye wabo chinu amofia mo sure fashion be wo kan mu hu na ele aka ina fashion le we muzuba shale nunku be ni ke na aka fashion ego So thank you all very much. I still want to advertise to you that we are still here live. And there's a question there. Okay, so last question from the front of your. So last question here. We are bringing the program to a close.
Thank you.
All right, go. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Doc, please, I would like to find out if snoring is hereditary.
Like a family that you all snore.
Not necessarily. Yeah, well, conditions we are our best now. Can you know na conditions like obesity? And yeah, but now it's a disease. Yeah, because obesity, it means will be a wire broso. Now, every time I have the opportunity, I try to explain. Me, one more thing, explaining, and I'm teaching my mom for say, ultimately, should be any and as anybody, then because of obesity, and now I can say broso. A purely a clinical method.
Yes,
you say compare your weight to your height. Yes, our ratio, no, and so you say. In Bakwe, why can see abroso. And as sometimes your hip to your waist ratio and see it don't mean physically you can't use your eyes to determine whether someone is obese or not. In TV with obesity and no it me Emma Osno or you can see abroso. And also no some families are it runs through.
Okay.
Aha. But and yet necessary say once you are big you will snore.
Okay.
But and also it's a risk factor. I bet me I'm also no. Sometimes respiratory diseases, okay, especially the lower respiratory diseases, because and also no, they are not contagious.
Respiratory disease. We can't go some last 2 days or so. Then say when you be. Wow. Me parents say I'm a upper respiratory infection.
So no one diagnosing them. And I want to say most of them here highly contagious. So usually when you get to say COVID, you trace it from people close to you, not people far from you. Until we been easy sort of amount. Your diseases like hypertension, diabetes, and also it may run it through families, and also to snore sometimes. But in terms of all diabetes, hypertension, we have a snore.
Okay.
Yes, it is some of these conditions can be hereditary. But not all of them will lead to snoring. Yes, it is snoring necessarily won't be hereditary. But to condition now what I'm getting more snoring, every amount standing a chance of snoring could be hereditary. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much together. So if you want to come and do very much about where can we come to this 2026?
Oh yes, and the councillor work on the number of
Number is 0277-6096. Thank you. Put your hands together.
Thank you.
All right, so where's Esther? Esther, my winner for the year 2025. My TikTok winner, I want all of you to see her. I'm processing for her 5 years multiple visa to go to America to go and see the world. She's doing Esther. So those of you who come and then there's Esther, so Mami Esther, the husband is a pastor, so pastor's wife, so Mami. Who want to TikTok will be Kasapa? Bokor, so who can now take me and leave you out. That's once a while Esther. Esther, for how many people you to work? And the Esther video, finally. Today is my first day seeing her. She's been with me for 3 years on TikTok. I've not seen her before. But she's been very supportive. And I'm not sure that she's not there. She's there. She's not saying for my family. Flamingo page. I'm a buy. And I'll catch up. I have house. I'm going to say that. When you accept it, I'm going to accept. I tell you, the young is here. Don't say you just said that. One hundred from the open back around before. And then as somebody who was sharing all the water, in your chair. When deep into you get that and say, get your blood, we show the show. But she's done so well for me. Today I have a lot of gifts for you. I hope you play on the card because now I know how to play the gospel. I'm giving her Bangas Gary Sukis. I told you I'm going to give you Bangas Gary. Those of you, I'm not even. What's that? When you want a shop, there's a shop. What do you get? I'm not even going. I'm not making a shop, so you can say, what do you get? You mean, who's so behind getting in your own? Hey, what's so my house like that? Oh. Well, I think according to how they go few, what the December go few, what the Solo go few, what the Wonders Gary go few. Now, the biggest one is next year. I promise you, next year by this time. Now, Esther, I will 5 years want to go visa to the University of America. The marketing director. I'm not the marketing director for the 3G award. So the 3G award is presenting an award to her next year for following me for 3 years on TikTok. Every time I come, I don't buy him. I don't buy. I don't know when Esther. If you was Esther already, this was not the first time this year. Yes, this is my first time, and she's followed me. She's loved my ministry, what I do. She does a lot of them. But this year, they all voted for Esther that Esther is qualified, and she told me that for the first time, remember the family orgasm conference. So this person, one of us, thank you very much. I promise you that you will not pay anything to get a visa. I'll buy the date for you. I'll pay for your visa fee. Do you have a passport? Do you have a passport? Yes, and I'm doing for only you, not for you and your husband. I'm doing it for her. If you want to travel with your husband, open the point, you share, you have to share. And I'm not talking about the lot of time. If you home, as a book I say, what you want to our people to work. What can you? By your reason, this one, I was already one of the present because I'm cheap. What they have. Okay, why does that make and then so but it's nice, and I'm not sure I crash. Thank you so much. Abna is there, or share Abna idea, and all of you who are watching me on TikTok. I came 1.5K. It's not a joke. I do 8 hours, 1.6. I do 8 hours of TikTok. 8 hours. It shows 8 hours. The last I had 9 hours. Now we take farm, we take to Susa, on the Abana, on the balls. We started with a lot of people, and then they have left. But I want to give a lot of things. But when we are planting, we are now they have left. Okay, it's a program that contains a about Thomas Fabra. But your program Bandex Gary, they were for fun to pass. The one, they are one, the child, they are looking at this okay. They are called, you want to show me the coffee. Why? Now we will bring them from coffee. It's only car there. It's a not in car and the coffee. Thank you very much for loving my ministry. I am very annoying. I'm very, very irritating. Even my family members, not all of them are following me. Some are very angry with me. I'm very extremely annoying. I am a friend and a father to Abna. You don't put it in rubber. What do you say? If you rubber, plantain chips. Where the air they been here. So me top plantain chips. Ama me case if I go face. Say we sua I didn't want to go for but go mama. Say ya too much. And nyama bi wo ha monye. But me to be a man. So you can buy this plantain chips for the children. It's also from Makwe, very nice. So I'm giving her. Can I get a box of Bandex bread, Bandex Gary? A box in a see anymore. Somebody please carry for me, and then let's go. Let me say a big thank you to Escort Security. They give us protection. The security people give us enough protection. Let me say a big thank you to Afromax for doing, and thank you to the kitchen staff who did all the things you ate. Thank you. Did you chew the things? Were they good for you? And let's say that when you are going, make sure you grab one book of the desire of a maid, the maid's desire. Read it so you can get a maid in your house. And let me say a big thank you to all of you who chose to spend the time with me here. Please, thank you very much. Please bring me 2 boxes. Can you bring the second one to please collect this one and bring it to Esther, and bring me the second one. I'm going to share the Gary for you. Those of you who know how to do Gary, go and eat Gary soakings. Abna doesn't eat Gary, so it's difficult to give a Gary. So this is from Bandex for you. Please put the whole box down. Very, very good. Solidly, this is Bandex Gary. It's Gary Gary mix, granite and everything is solid. Thank you very much for coming. In the absence of no further question, Esther Ubibika to talk for it. You are a mother of 7. Well, what 7? 3. Well, what 3? Esther, what 3? Well, what 3? I'm a Esther. 4 8 you.
Evening, everyone.
Hey, what can say so ferry? One way, Esther Casaniago.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, we bless day this evening for the gift of life, marriage. So I'm very honored and for this award. I honestly didn't expect it, but then I say thank you. I received in full heart. His Excellency, I say
yeah. That's my new title, His Excellency. Yes,
thank you for the love, the wisdom, relationship teaching. We are all grateful. I've been a blessed work, and many of us have in the healthy and the of relationship. So being called a fan means, because it means I was to a message that really matters. So I say thank you to everyone, to the organizers, sponsors, partners, thank you. Abna Sugar Courage, thank you. To the TikTok family, thank you. To the YouTube family, the Facebook family, Honorable Lady, thank you all. I love you all. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Bon, c'est bachona abna so oyede. Also we are of mama pana.
Bachoi. Thank you.
So for mama get that. Abna so mama say so for mama omu that day. So for mama omu use mic na. I think I want person for wale back kanka there.
So we have this perception about, suffer mommy or pastors' wives. Now we should any streaming na be able bunch the one I said no won't be. Oh, I'm sorry to say, but I mean, what attach it classy to you being a pastor's wife, and I love that. I believe so. You have a lot of young ones, youth, and all that of war master and you're a role model to them. Being a Safumame doesn't mean say you should look wretched. Your appearance should speak for itself. So I'm glad. I love your nails and everything, your choice of colors and all that. That's what I'm asking. Say indeed, if you're Safumame, then thumbs up to you.
Yeah, that's why Safumame, go and sing no more. And then you say, Wama abna enya adwen sakra. Sofo bia po bia wale hume. Mema wo bia wale no why na sisi ade asof ma me no ma mo nhye wig a mo ha ayewe na me hira mo. Thank you all very much for coming. We are done. Thank you very much for being live with us. Abna ye wo hin sisi a me phone wo talk the family phone ma me team legal wives enye bye bye de yenko. TikTok me nyampo ye nyampo ye beto aso sa ba program no. Thank you very much for joining us. 400 wives for 456K. Wow. 456K. Any 1.4. We're generic. Please play me Lumba song. You have Lumba Nyuma Mazisi Amacho. 425.4K people are here, and we have 1.1K. Thank you very much for coming. Till legal wise, before we move, we'll take our group photograph before we leave. It's very important. Every year.
Still watch Master West video.
Okay, can we play the video for the last time for them, please? They want to watch the video. Media, can you play the video for them? Very important. We can get our sound done. We can play the video for them, very important. And we use the microphones. Thank you very much. Can they watch the video again? Yes.
They said after everything you should play Lumbe's song. The one that has Masewa's name.
So the song that has Masewa's name, you have it. Omoha Bien Rough. Now, more amudi fake account. If you are some can one my number snap or so fake account for you that must say more here.
Okay, restart. Yeah, go.
Ghana for now official. You say that you have Pia so official. Ghana for now ever official. Official. Pieces say 19. Come pieces now are ordering. Right now I'm ordering. Send me chino. A radama shooting go now fear that she a more official. Ghana for a mamma so full in there. What for those who those. Nijina umane no wakisha kutumia mwadi radi wa bitu sambi yimse bibia bimbi ama subia ndio ila masi ala fumira masi after comment yini kama ingano ngamasi ene odo amachre no muso ina afisha ka wale kama kitekitana nsho musimama mkuu therefore do ya kukumbia nanti ndivyo masuji sikuchia mwenye na sijui na yeye masu
Well, thank you very much. That's wishing a heartfelt blessings to all of us. Masewa, Nyankopon Shira, Omo Humbai. The fight continues, the legal battle continues until we say no to bye-bye. The appeal will continue until we find out that the truth is clear. Let's take a group photograph as we play for them the song we want. Can we all come up here nicely? Yes, you shall. Trying to come on here. When you are near, it's not that why I say. And when you are the break in the night, you are massive. Madam, wait for the pictures. Madam, pass on you. Mike here, well. Any better Mike here? David, I come here, okay. What I'm going to share. The what? The Gary. Yes, I'll give you some. But you also like it. Peter, so behind your car, how much water do you have there? 2. So we'll add some to follow me. This is fun. And they brought 2. Yes. Unless we finish, my dear.
So we are finishing with the speed of light, right? That's right.
Oh, the man brought 5. He took 1 away. So he said it's not 5. It's Christmas. Oh, the waste. I said, go read it.
Put one in the beer. One in the beer, one in the fork. All right. That's me. That's so your life. See your life. Yeah. So your life. Now your life. I am school. I'm in school. Still be a week. So it's not come TikTok. This is why it's going for it. The guy for a chair, when I'm here, feel I'm sure. Sister, you know, I'm sure some who are. Abnawa. Why? Tiwa wada. Abna kasa mi tio.
Yeah, cause I think Abna is sleeping. I've been calling her.
Well done.
Over the elephant.
What is how to go ahead? Jawea. What happened? Jumbo.
Yo, Tumi wife. I'm smart. So many
This is the main one. I will show you.
And then social media, if you have baby, I saw a this can I work with you. Into 20,000, then I'm a man, 75 answer.
And the Mila era was why. And the word don't sell money. We are boy. Event my year, the budget is we spent 648,000. Trust is everything. You got to do it. Sure, Mamma, you penas. So I go penas. So my yourself. I go beyond the on 2 weeks. Mammy, I was smart by you. Oh, let me show what. When it does, let me show. A baby is smart for 4 years. Yeah, I said, your mom, Lord, I'm going to go out there to school with you. I'm going to go to the and I'm going to enjoy the young girl. So, my fault, or no ceremony. Mammy, I got beer oil. Just say, I want 2 o'clock. Set legal wife for when they are share get to the same set on Fambra or the Ahaban. Magic, Madam is I want to send a mail. Madam is in Madam. Benjamin Shram, the Akana car in them. This was a good party. When I'm going to answer my name. Names near Kafra needs to have a was a 2 hour hostel. Ashanti Tumi now his lawyer, Munina, bloggers in now, I mean, Mam Banka show me everything. It's Mam, let me that's it. At the RG, 80 that's what is once a while, yes, Yagenti, Yadamasu. So thank you very much, Leader Wives. Without you, people will not know how good and loving this woman is. It's very important for us to show love and show care for whoever is going through this phase. You have brought a lot of sensible things to the mind. And at the end of the day, what happens to us is,
Counselor, Abna is sleeping. This is Lady Victory. Abna is sleeping. Counselor, you guys are looking good. My dear. Esther came to represent us and here they remove.
Esther came to represent people and made a show out of a show.
Yes.
So finally you have seen Esther.
Yeah.
Esther back.
The whole world. Also for Mami Bakufi. That's right.
Esther back. It's been. Abakamba, what have why are there? Lady Victory, yourself, friend.
Yes. Mate won't cry, but me fro. I wanted to show. I knew how you'll be busy around this time too. The mefro at the time I know send your back cool down.
But it's good. Thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you very much, all Team Legal Work members. Thank you, those who have joined, those who have decided to be part of it. One of the things that I keep asking for is we should please pray. We should please pray for Mrs. Akosua Serwaa. There's nothing going to happen to her, but it's lovely said. Oko to be and now we empire. Now what kind Senyankopon enkoso Emma Odona Yedon Enye Peyo Embia Empodi Eda Masipa Papa it's been lovely. It's been nice. Thank you very much. So Mama can one let the one of mobile and I didn't have Esther one bill and Victory one bill
Obatiwa is here. Obatiwa is here.
Obatiwa, the bleeder.
I'll try.
Mommy, get you. Never for here.
I'm not more papa, and I want to swear. Where they are well done when you're mentioned, baby. I don't want to know what I say. When you're mamma, Akosua Serwaa. When you're mentioned, no one shall want name would. I dear more should be a. And I must be.
Akadiaka.
That's we are gaga, pal.
What's me a gaga?
We are gaga, pal. Not me, Bizana. And Pananes one now, and I want a train. Lumbani Akosua Serwaa. I'm a guy that what they tell Lumbani Akosua Serwaa.
Then on the what, but what back.
What to be a casa, mama? Who internet a jam?
Lumbani Bebe Gusuya Dumadia.
Edimi Yajuma, Uncle Lencia. I'm a Oprani Bin. Yajuma, Uncle Lencia, Oprani Binyum. Oprani Binyum, one day.
Why, Yam?
Oprani Binyum, one day.
Obian, Moses.
And Yakobi Sama, Oprani Binyum. Miss Oprani Bimo Biadi, me patch up with Oprani Binyum. Lumba kwatina ya juma pa. Mama Oprani Binyum.
Why?
Oh, internet na say.
Now you go and take all my things. Yes, there's no power here. My internet is. Give it to work. Tiwa.
Eda.
Yada munyina ase. Yada munyina ase. Why are there? Now we had my best of my life. Never did. See, I say a champ perform. A champ perform. Me da munyina ase. Mama na Efie. The acquire what Germany so I have a pa.
I am winning in a post.
Yatia in a kuna can the song. Eddie Bible, addition, and BA, Eberso Amanako.
Onyametiasi.